I kind of had a premonition. I mean, I had a dream of being attacked in an amphitheater. And it was just somebody with a spear stabbing downwards, and I was rolling around on the floor trying to get away from him. And I woke up and was quite shaken by it. And I had to go to Chautauqua. And I said to my wife, Eliza, I said, I don't want to go because of the dream. And then I thought, don't be silly, it's a dream.
A horrific attack. Famed author Salman Rushdie was stabbed on stage in Western New York early this morning.
A man rushed on stage and began stabbing him multiple times.
The suspect, 24-year-old Hadi Matar of Fairview, New Jersey, pleaded not guilty to charges of attempted murder and assault.
Rushdie famously spent years in hiding and under police protection
over a book few Muslims have ever read. It's called The Satanic Verses, and several powerful Islamic leaders, including Ayatollah Khomeini, have sentenced author Salman Rushdie to death for blasphemy.
Then you have this long kind of period where Rushdie was in hiding with round-the-clock security. He moved to the United States in 2000, and it looked very much like he was kind of maybe in the clear, but the fatwa lived on and was nearly made good in upstate New York.
The man who stabbed author Salman Rushdie was sentenced to 25 years in prison.
Initially, the trial and the case was very much kind of depicted as a lone wolf attack, that he was some, young Arab American from New Jersey who had kind of gotten, disillusioned or disgruntled and had kind of self-indoctrinated.
There was no testimony or evidence submitted as to motive. You can't get around the fact that obviously he was living in New Jersey. In
July of 2024, the Department of Justice did indict Hadi Matar for providing material support for Hezbollah. It was a very kind of thin indictment. You didn't see much of an effort to really find out who Hadi Matar was someone behind him and what happened to him while he was in Lebanon. But over the past month, we've launched a joint investigation by the Free Press and the Center for Peace Communications, and actually sent a reporter to Hadi Matar's father's hometown that's right on the Lebanon-Israel border. And the picture of Hadi Matar that we developed is very different than what was originally depicted as a lone wolf exercise. Hadi Matar's mother, in an interview, did say that he visited his father in the town of Yaroun in the summer of 2018, I believe, and he came back a different person, radicalized in some way. So we thought it would make sense to actually try to go there and find out what exactly happened. It is dangerous reporting in South Lebanon. It's really hard to get there. After the attack in 2022, I read articles of reporters who tried to get there, but Hezbollah was in so much control of the town that they really couldn't do much reporting. It sounds like the town is loosened up a bit because of the Israeli strikes, but even then, Hezbollah's presence was still very much felt, and they clearly did not want this story going out.
كان عنا بس وصلنا على يارون قدرنا ناخد شوية من المقابلة مع الشيخ وقال اعطونا عناصر حزب الله اخذوا الكاميرا من المصور فاتوا على اول انترفيو بس سمعوا بفتوى الخميني عملوا فورمات للميموري كارد ورجعوا طبشوها وقالوا.
A lot of the footage that was destroyed by Hezbollah was pretty explosive. The fatwa against Salman Rushdie, which a lot of people thought had kind of expired because it was issued way back in 1989, was still very much being preached in the town of Yaroun. We interviewed sheikhs and locals who described Hadi Matar and his father being in mosques where the fatwa was preached.
خلال حديثنا مع المشايخ الشيعة كان أغلبية إشاراتهم أنه يتم تداول فتوى قتل سلمان رشدي خلال الأعياد وخلال خطب الجمعة في المناطق الشيعية وفي المؤسسات التابعة لحزب الله.
A dozen local villagers who we talked to described the father and the family as very much plugged into Hezbollah directly.
أولاً أكدوا لنا إنه لبنان إجا أولاً أكدوا لنا إنه هادي إجا على لبنان منذ 10 سنوات وكان يحضر مساجد وخطب جمعة تعتمد أسلوب التحريض وتتداول فتوى قتل سلمان رشدي.
Another sign of what we think might be the closeness between Hadi Matar's family and Hezbollah were photos from 2013 that were actually on Hezbollah's website that showed a relative, we believe, of Hadi Matar, and that there was very much a Hezbollah ceremony honoring the fighter for his work. The locals we talked to in Yarun said that name Matar, they were all part of sort of a bigger family and a bigger clan, which is why we believe they might be related. We were actually able to get in contact via cell phone with Hadi Matar's father, who depicted an interesting kind of narrative.
الو السيد حسن علي مطر.
ايوه.
وهادي اجى شي مره على علمك انت على لبنان، زار شي مره لبنان ولا ما عندك فكره؟
لا اجى مره واحده.
ليقلنا انه ابنه ما اجى كثير، هو قالنا انه اجى من 10 سنين مره، بس الاشخاص جيرانه اللي بيعرفوا قالوا لنا لا هادي اجى اكثر من مره.
حتى لما كان هو صغير انت هو ربع معك صح ولا لا؟
لا ربي يعني طلقنا نحن صراحه انا وامه يعني وكانوا صغار بعد كان عمرهم شيء 4 سنين بس يعني كده.
بهيدي الفتره لما كان هو صغير بدي اسالك انت كنت تحس تصرفاته طبيعيه؟ كنت تحس عنده ميول مثلا للعنف او لاي شيء ولا ما كان عندك اي فكره؟
لا والله ما كانش، لكن عادي انسان عادي.
انسان طبيعي. برايك انه في شيء حدا من اللي حواليه ممكن مشي بهالطريق لهادي؟
اكيد يعني اللي لعبوا له بعقله واثروا فيه اكيد، مش من راسه في الشغل.
ما كان يعطيني تفاصيل اكثر عن وجود هادي بلبنان، بما انه نحن بنعرف المناطق اللبنانيه وبنقدر نوصل للمحلات اللي كان يروح عليها.
One of the interesting parts of the post-attack investigation was that Matar on himself had a fake driver's ID and with the last name Mugnia. Iman Mugnia was Hezbollah's military commander, who was a major player in just all of Hezbollah's military operations.
هلا كثير من رجال الدين لما قلنا لهم وجد مع هادي هويه مزوره باسم عماد مغنيه كانوا مرتاحين. الكثير من الاشخاص اعتبروا وجود هويه عماد مغنيه مع هادي مطر هو بمثابه امضاء اي ان حزب الله نفذ العمليه.
So the legal process with Hadi Matar now is kind of, the first part is over. He's been convicted of attempted murder in the second degree. He has received a 25-year sentence. But now we're heading into the federal trial, which will happen in Buffalo, and it will essentially be, he will be charged with material support for Hezbollah. And if he's convicted, he could potentially have life in prison. And that's why we think our latest research and stories are so important, because it really does show the links between Matar and Hezbollah.